Look, when it's a TCB week, you do two things. Don't lose and take care of business. All right, that's what your Miami Heat were able to do against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Great performance. Really, really stuck it to them, especially in that second quarter. It was a little bit back and forth there early on. They come in there. They're going to give you your best punch. They got a lot of guys out. They already suck. They're in the midst of a losing streak. You don't have Jimmy Butler, who you haven't had much success lately without. I mean, it's looked either ugly or you've lost without Jimmy. So it was nice to get a game where everybody can kind of go in there, compete, have a good feel for themselves. Some of the things that stuck out in this one, for one, it was Chris Bosh night, which was cool. They were honoring Chris Bosh for getting into the Hall of Fame, which is cool. You love to see Boshy Bear out there doing his thing. The original meme king. I was trying to think about this. If Chris Bosh is like, does he predate meme? The video bomb wasn't really a meme. Like, I feel like the first Heat meme was really like the LeBron face, which we all remember. And then, Chris Bosh kind of took it to a next level. Like, Jimmy Butler's always known, he was the meme king, the GIF king. Everybody was going to, but like Chris Bosh was doing the thing, whether it be the pop-up, whether it be, the robot, whether it be just anything that he was doing during those interviews. Not only did I mention that he was also a fantastic player. I mean, he was absolutely one of the best out there. So it was really, really cool seeing CB out there doing the damn thing, seeing him honored by everybody. In the game that was this one, it was cool. You saw Duncan Robinson get off to a super hot start. Dunks has been on an absolute torrid pace lately. 3 straight threes to start the game. He finished with 5. For me, though, I think the thing that was the best out of this game, because, what can you really take out of a Heat Thunder game? The business is going to pick up this upcoming week. You got the Sixers. You got the Warriors, although Steph Curry's hurt. You got the Knicks, which is always fun kicking their ass. And then you got the Brooklyn Nets in town, which is going to have KD and Kyrie, presumably. Probably not Ben Simmons. I don't know. He doesn't play basketball anymore. But of course, maybe the most important thing, the return of Goran Dragic. But that's another story for another day. The man who was wearing his number, the man who replaced him, the man who essentially ousted him to Toronto and never to be here again. And by the way, Goran, his game a couple days ago, really good game against the Dallas Mavericks. He always does good against Luka in that Slovenian showdown. But what I've been really wanting, I think, out of a lot of things, I've talked a lot about, just some concerns that I've had, going into the playoffs. One of them, day one, is Jimmy Butler's health, because he's been getting all these nagging injuries. You have the idea that he has been dealing with this toe thing, then the ankle thing. He's had the tailbone thing. Just a bunch of bumps and bruises for Jimmy. It's been tough for him to just be in there for a consistent stretch. Kyle Lowry, he has been dealing with some personal stuff. He was the buoy for the Heat without Bam, without Jimmy. Kyle was there really uplifting all of these young guys and did a tremendous job. Then when Jimmy came back and Bam came back, he was off to do whatever he had to do with his personal life, and then came back and missed a few more games and really just hasn't been engaged offensively from a scoring standpoint. Like, doesn't even feel like he's looked to do it. He's had games of 3, 4, 3, 2, no shot attempts, just like not even looking at the rim, not even looking at the basket. And this was a game where obviously you're going to need him a little bit more. There's no Jimmy Butler. That was one of the big issues, I thought, in that Suns game. Maybe you would have made a difference. Maybe you wouldn't have. But Low Dog actually coming through in this one, finally having a good scoring game, an efficient scoring game. He went out there and he got on the board with a cool, just back tap steal to Caleb Martin. Caleb Martin found him on the fast break, which was really, really impressive. And you need that from him. Like, you need to get Kyle Lowry engaged offensively. He keeps talking about, listen, I'm going to get cranked up and I'm going to be in this mode. Maybe you do take his word for it. I've just been concerned. Like, it doesn't even feel like he's had it in his mind at all. But it was great to see against the Thunder, for sure. Again, we take this all with a grain of salt. We know the Thunder suck. Thank you for your comments on the page. We know. As far as your stars are concerned, Tyler Herro, Bam Adebayo, they continue. It's like steady as you go with those guys. They have done such a great job with no Jimmy and with Kyle Lowry being in and out. These guys have really taken the reins of this team in a lot of ways, especially Tyler from just a bulk scoring standpoint, knowing when it's time to take over games. Bam, he's such a menace defensively. Their chemistry, I feel like, has been better than ever between each other. That Kentucky connection between them, I feel like it's been better than ever between each other in the 3 years that they've played together. And it feels like it's hit like another type of level this year. But, man, I mean, this Tyler Herro, he's so damn good, man. He's so damn good. Got to give a shout-out to Wes Goldberg, who covers the Heat and did a great piece for the Miami Herald on Tyler Herro. You guys should go check that out. A lot of great stuff there on just Tyler's mindset, the work that he's put in, putting behind all that was last year. I thought some of the fascinating stuff was just him saying, basically, I won't give it all away, but just basically like he doesn't know if this year happens without the struggles of last year. And he did deal with a lot between the trade rumors, between the new notoriety, between in a Jack Harlow song, between women crashing their cars at Wynwood to come see him, becoming a dad, like all this stuff that led into this season after the struggles of last year where they tried to kind of give him more of the reins. It was a really, really good read, but this run that he's on is just insane. I mean, he has definitely snatched up Sixth Man of the Year. Everybody seems to be really in tune to that's a thing. It's going to be interesting. Are there more accolades that he can go get? Is there going to be even more praise that he can go get? I mean, he's just been on an insane run, and his scoring is just so prevalent. You trust everything with the ball in his hands, and I think some people were like, he turns the ball over a little bit too much, these types of games. But the work that the kid has put in has really, really paid off. It's awesome to see what Boy Wonder's doing. I may have another song, I may be feeling inspired. I'm just got to be honest with you. Goosey's are rising. It's Goosey's galore, really. I watch these two. I'm just like, you start to get that Muse feeling. But a man that I have penned recently, my most recent piece of work, Max Strus. This dude is so cold-blooded when it comes off the bench. But that shot that he hit from some guys, that's a logo shot. But it's like on the ass cheek of the logo. This was like in the heart of the Heat logo. This dude just chucked up a three and nailed it. He's just like he just has it so. It was something. It was a great second quarter that he had. It's really where kind of things just turned for the good for the Heat. This thing by the fourth was absolutely cinched up, as it should be, and they find themselves in a good spot. A couple things of notoriety also from this game. You had Markieff Morris. They went to him as first big off the bench, which is interesting for a couple reasons. One, I do think it speaks to Spo seeing some of the struggles that Dedmon has been having, whether they be through health, whatever. He is tinkering with some stuff there. The other thing is that, for Markieff to be in this prominent a role off of how many games he missed is interesting. I think it shows the trust that Spo has in him, but also just the idea that they're trying to find what is going to be that perfect fit coming off of the bench, because Dedmon has been the guy, spring of energy, go and get it. Now, there will be teams where there's size, you're going to need him for sure. But it's just been a little bit of a slumpy slump for him lately. And Keefe, that he brings that attitude. That the everybody on the team trusts him because he is a veteran, because he's been through it all. I think that that's an interesting thing to look out for. The other thing is that Victor Oladipo also didn't play in this game. His other counterpart, who came back recently, he was dealing with back spasms, and they were attributing that to the idea that Vic is basically just ramping it up, his body's getting used to the grind of it. And that's an interesting thing, just because, he hasn't played basketball in a while. It still is a big question as to what is going to be the ability for Vic to carry this team. The other interesting thing about this has been a very light week too. So, just something of note to really look out for. I tell you one thing though, man. When they're talking to Chris Bosh, dude, and it's you see CB there, and Spo after the game's just like, man, would have been the perfect fit next to Bam. It's like, yeah, be still my heart, man. That would have been Bam and Bosh and Bam, Goosey's galore, dude. Just silky smooth J with the rolls to the rim. Man, that would have been good. Bam, by the way, this has been an interesting thing this week. Bam has moved into a lot of odds makers' favor for Defensive Player of the Year, which is great to see. I like the fact that Bam is tooting his own horn a little bit more. That's just the game these days, dude. You just got to do it. I know he hates it. Last time we had him on, at the end of last year, right before the playoffs. And, we talked about the whole aggressive thing, and we talked about this campaign for Defensive Player of the Year because he kind of did it like right at the end of the year. And it's been good to see him saying, I'm DPOY, saying it left and right, shouting it at practice behind spokesperson, saying there's nobody making the eye-popping plays. You got to do it. Like, you have to be in a lot of ways. It's very much like a fighter. Like, you got to be your own hype man. You got to be the guy who makes people believe you are who you are because – especially with some of these awards like Defensive Player, it's like you get stuck on one guy. It's like, it's Rudy Gobert, it's Draymond Green. It's Rudy Gobert, it's Draymond Green. It's Ben Simmons. Like, Ben Simmons, not in the class of Bam Adebayo. I mean, I honestly think that Ben Simmons' offense is so bad that we've been trying to find what Ben Simmons' superpower is so we make it seem like he's the greatest defender we've all seen. Not saying he's not a good defender, but it's like you got to get into this club, and it's almost like to do it, you got to crack the nut of doing it yourself. Be fascinating this week because Draymond Green is going to be in town. Theoretically, he'll play. They're working him way back from his injury. But it will be interesting to note whether or not Draymond, will acknowledge how Bam has been playing. They were, Olympic teammates. Does he see the similarities? I think he's mentioned this a couple times before. But also, he still thinks that he's got the idea that he can go and grip the award, which would be crazy if you think that Bam's biggest knock is that he missed a boatload of time. Okay. But, one of the years that Rudy Gobert won it, I believe it was the first time that he won it, on pace for the same amount of games for that season. I believe it was Joel Embiid who was second, something like that. He had even fewer games than Bam. And, Draymond's also missed a ton of time. So I just think for me, yeah, okay, Bam missed a lot of games, but this is definitely first of all, his team is number one in the East, and he's definitely been unbelievable since he's come back from the injury. Hasn't missed a beat, hasn't been in and out like Jimmy Butler. It was just this one chunk in the middle of the year, and I just think that it's a tough thing to hold against him, especially when you see how good he is on smaller guys, how good he is going out there and truly shutting people down out on the wing. Like, truly going out there. It's funny because, you got the Warriors coming down, and it feels like that Steph Curry, that initial shutdown that he had years ago, everybody's seeing him lock up Steph Curry, and you're just like, man, this guy is different with those feet. And then, some of the ways he's able to get back in position to get blocks, to deter some things, to switch on to guys. I don't know, man. I just think that for me, the guy has definitely made a case. It's good to see him start getting some recognition, at least from the odds makers, that it's happening. Now, this upcoming week, look, we'll see. Hopefully, James Harden has the guts to actually suit up for a game against the Heat. Who knows? We'll see. The Warriors game obviously takes a little bit of a dent from the drama because you don't have Steph in town, but you still got to go on there and you got to put all that aside and make sure you don't get got in that one. And then obviously, the Knicks suck. Do what you got to do against them. And second out of a back-to-back, you have Brooklyn in town. And, yeah, look, anytime you got a week where it's going to be Brooklyn and Philly, and you're hopefully going to have the tandem of Harden and Joel Embiid taking them on, and you have Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, who have both been on fire lately. It's not put your ass on notice week because it's not an entire ass of week that you can put on notice. You know what I'm saying? But it's a couple. There's a couple we just got. You can be like, these are a little heightened. The sensitivities are a little heightened for this upcoming week. So it should be good. It should be a very exciting week ahead. It was fun to see them do what they had to do this week. Go about it. Take care of business and get the 2 wins that they had to get. Keep pace on everybody. And, hopefully Jimmy Butler gets healthy. Like, this is I think the big thing that they got to look out for is what's Jimmy's status, what's his health, what's he looking like. And if he is good to go, then I think the Heat are in a really, really good spot. It's just been very, very frustrating from that standpoint. But seeing Kyle go out and be aggressive and score some, that was huge. Seeing Caleb Martin back out there do big things, that was huge. Seeing Tyler Herro continue to be on the pace that he's been on has remained huge. Bam, same way. Strus and Duncan Robinson are stroking like crazy. And Spo doing some interesting stuff with a big rotation. So we will follow it all, everybody.